Okay, so where did I leave off? I said that I was 15 and things started to go downhill. So, I was off sick. Well, actually, my mum doesn't know this, so hopefully she doesn't watch this video. But you know, like there's days, like you're 15, 14, 15, you can't be bothered to go to school. So you're like, I'm just gonna pretend that I'm sick. You know what people say, the boy who cried wolf. Well, I got a taste of karma that day. So I used to do this thing, and if any of your children are watching, tell them to like go into the other room because I don't want to give them any ideas. Okay? So I used to go like, I can't believe I'm telling you guys this. I used to go to the radiator, like put my head on the radiator so I felt hot. And then I'd go to my mum and be like, Mum, I'm not well, I'm sick, oh, I don't want to go to school today. And like, then she'd feel my head and she'd be like, oh my God, you're so hot. I'm just burning up inside. So then she'd be like, yeah, call your nan, see if you can stay with her. So that's what I did on this day. So I get to my nan's and I'm just chilling out on the sofa, just watching CBeebies, you know. No, it wasn't CBeebies, Tiffany, for God's sake, it was 15. It was CBBC at that point, although I do love CBeebies. Anyway, chilling on the sofa, watching like Mona the Vampire or something. Just a quick note, who used to love Mona the Vampire? Oh my God, that used to be my favourite show. I used to love Mona the Vampire. Anyway, sorry, I got sidetracked there. Yeah, so just chilling, and then I started like feeling unwell, and my belly started hurting. And I was like, maybe I'm just like imagining it, like because I said I was sick. Camera died again because the battery on this camera is shit. So what was I saying about Mona the Vampire? Okay, yeah, so I was sitting on the sofa or laying on the sofa, and I was like, I genuinely am starting not to feel well. Like maybe I'm just kind of making it up in my head, or like, you know, maybe it's just period pains, or I don't know. So I was sitting there and it was like getting worse and worse and worse, like to the point where I was like, I cannot take this any longer. Like I was screaming, I was crying, like I started to throw up, I was being sick everywhere. But because I hadn't eaten anything, because the pain was so bad, when I was being sick, sorry for being TMI, but nothing was coming up, like, and that was making it worse. And my nan like put me back on the sofa and she was like, you know, patting my head with a damp cloth and like stroking my head and telling me that I was gonna be all right. And she called my mum and she was like, Juliet, like you've got to get home ASAP, like something is wrong with Tiffany, like it's like really bad. So my mum came home, and do you know what, I remember this so vividly. She walked in with a box of chocolates and she was like, oh hi darling, like you're not well. She was like, here, have some chocolates. And I said, I don't want them. And she was like, what? And I was like, I don't want any chocolate. She was like, what do you mean you don't want any chocolate? And then she was like, okay, something is really wrong. If she doesn't want chocolate, someone call 911 because this is not good. So they didn't call 911 obviously because we live in the UK, but we did bring a doctor, and the doctor came out, and I was laying on the sofa like, you know, feeling sorry for myself, moaning and groaning and sweating, being sick, like, you know, curled up in a ball because my belly was in just agony. And the doctor came over and like he examined me, and like he looked at my mum and my nan, he was like, you need to get her to hospital now. We were like, what? He was like, yeah, I think her appendix have ruptured, so you need to go now. So my mum got me in her car, like she like just literally picked me up, threw me in her car and like drove to the hospital. To be fair, the hospital was like 10 minutes away, not even that in a car, so we are really lucky. Anyway, got to hospital and like we explained what had happened, and they were like, okay, get her in now. I remember them scanning my belly, and the ultrasound person was like, there's so much fluid in your tummy, like it's just not a very good sign. Like it's telling us that you've either got a ruptured appendix or your appendix are about to rupture. So yeah, they was like excuse me, they were like, you need to get her into surgery now. So I went in for the surgery. I don't remember the surgery, obviously, thank God, although there are times when people do remember their surgeries, like how awful. There's actually a film called Awake, another tangent, but sorry, there's another film called Awake with, oh, what's her name? She was in Honey. Jessica Alba. That's a really good film if you haven't watched it, but it is a bit scary. So if you're going to go for an operation anytime soon, don't watch it. Anyway, now I've lost my train of thought. Great. So I came around from surgery and I was in so much pain because they literally, you know, cut me open. And when I came to, like, after like I'd come round and I was with my family again, the doctors came round and they were like, yeah, so here's the thing, your appendix was actually fine. And we were like, what? And they were like, yeah, so your appendix were fine. Like, they didn't need to come out. There was nothing wrong with them. If anything, they were a tiny bit inflamed, but there wasn't, you know, they wasn't ruptured. They wasn't about to rupture. So we basically cut you open for nothing. They did say though that because there was nothing wrong with my appendix, the scar or the cut that they made was a lot bigger than they usually would make it, because they were so baffled as to why there was nothing wrong with my appendix. Why was I in so much pain, and why was there all of this fluid? And anyone else that has like had their appendix taken out, I mean, now it's like through keyhole surgery, so you can't even see any scar. But if they did have to go in like that, the scar would be tiny. So yeah, they basically said that they had a look around. They had like a little rummage inside to see what was going on. They checked my ovaries. I think that was one of the things they wanted to check, because they didn't know if I'd had a cyst or if I still had a cyst on my ovaries, or, you know, things like that. But there was nothing. There was absolutely nothing. So I'd like just had surgery for no reason. And guys, when I tell you, the recovery was so painful. Like, if you've ever had your appendix out, you will know. I couldn't walk for 3 weeks. I couldn't go to the toilet by myself for 3 weeks. Like, I literally couldn't hold anything up of substantial weight because my body would just give way, and it was so painful. Oh, it was horrible. Anyway, yeah, so after this, after they'd cut me open for no damn reason, they were like, okay, now we need to really kind of take this very seriously, because we've just cut you open for no reason. You know, we've just done surgery on you for no reason. And also, I guess it costs the NHS money to do stuff like that. So they were like, okay, listen, we're going to start like referring you to all of these specialist people, like immunology, the cancer department, I don't know what that's called, like, what's the professional term, sorry. So yeah, they sent me to all these places, and everything just was like, well, everything up until one point, things were coming back as normal, like normal. So we eventually went to the immunology department, which is to do with your immune system and how like your immune system fights off, I'm sorry, I've got hair somewhere. So immunology is like your immune system, like your white blood cells, like how your immune system fights off viruses, diseases, things like that. So we finally got referred there, and I went for like blood tests and things, like, you know, test. Sorry, the shopping was just delivered as well, so I'm out of breath and I've lost my train of thought. But then I was kind of passed to a doctor. I'm not going to say his name because of privacy reasons. I'm not sure that he would like it, you know. But I'm still under his care today. And he kind of called me and my family in, and he was like, yeah, so we've found out what's wrong with you. It's really rare, and it does cause all the symptoms that you've been having. So that's why you've been having these symptoms, because yeah, you are actually ill. And it's really dangerous what you have, like you could have died. So yeah, that was, in some respects, it was kind of relieving to know, okay, there is actually something wrong with me. Like, I'm not just a freak of nature. Like, my body doesn't just decide to swell up now and again with no reason whatsoever. But yeah, I'm going to leave the second part of the video here. There's going to be a third and final part, which will go up shortly after this one. So don't forget to come back and watch the finale. And yeah, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!